Woof woof! Hey guys, it's me Marcus, aka the Mad Dog, and thank you for tuning into another video. So it's the beginning of the month and you know that can mean only one thing on this channel. Yes, you are watching Whale Watch. Whale Watch. This is a series that I do once a month where we start recording the screen, I end up sitting in front of my computer and we just go through some of the books that might be going out of print, some whales that might have cropped up in random places, some good deals that I can find you, and hopefully just some generally good spending habits. I say this at the beginning of every video and some people still don't listen to it, but this video isn't about driving up any kind of fear of missing out, and it's not trying to help scalpers in any way, shape or form. I always say that you shouldn't really ever pay over cover price, and that's a rule that I'd recommend even when we're looking at some of these books here. But the point of this video series from day one has always been about helping people to avoid missing out on books that they really wanted. If some of the books show up and you knew that you wanted them and maybe they've fallen off your radar, or maybe you pushed them to the bottom of your to buy list, maybe it's an indication that you might need to jump on it sooner rather than later. But it does seem like there's quite a few books, so I'm just going to jump into it straight away. And what we've been doing at the beginning of these videos is checking on these Alien Dark Horse editions. So volume 1's still quite readily in print, make sure you don't accidentally buy the Kindle edition. You've got volume 2 there, the Predator version is there as well, and we'll see if the Predator book has come back in stock at all in the last month, because as we know, these books are unfortunately losing their rights to Marvel. You've probably already seen that Marvel's announced this Alien Omnibus. I know there was some controversy about the cover that I'm not really going to get into here, and it's likely that there's going to be some overlap, but the fact of the matter is that the presentation format that the Dark Horse book comes in isn't going to be the same as the Omnibus, so you might want those Dark Horse editions and you might not want to miss out on them, but it seems like they're still readily in print, so that's a good start to the video. Now, another one that I've seen getting listed here and there that I've already done a review of and which you should check out is this book right here. It's Postal. Now, I saw on here in Cheap Comics the other day, where's it gone? They were listing this as out of print and it doesn't seem like they've got it in stock anymore. Now, with this being quite a niche book, I do think it is the case that it's not really going to be kept evergreen or anything like that. It was more of like a sleeper cult hit. So for me, if this is a book that you wanted, it does seem like a lot of places are slowly losing stock of it. Now, it's interesting because this was only really funded as being part of a Kickstarter. Now, Amazon.com hasn't got it in stock at the moment, but all the other Amazons seem to, and it seems like Amazon Italia is going to be the cheapest one there, but it's still only about 25% off. But yeah, Read Comics has got the purple button, which is never a good sign as well. So this might be a book that if you are wanting to get it, because it's such a niche hit, you A, might forget they exist, and B, it's probably better jumping on this one sooner rather than later. Or maybe, like I said, you should check out my review first and see if it's a book that you'd like. Just whilst we're here, that's a really weird cover. Now, one that one of you guys messaged me about on Instagram, and like I said, I do always try my best to incorporate the books that you request in here, was BERSERK Volume 3, which has suddenly just disappeared. It does seem as if there's some places that have it in stock. Books Etc's got it in stock, which is quite good, and this was going to be the point that I was saying, because you know, you've got Book Depository, Blackwell's, you've got Wordery, doesn't seem like Speedy Hen's got it. If you remember an earlier video of Whale Watch, I said that Volume 1 looked like it was going out of print and then it just came back in stock again. With these books, because there's going to be so many volumes and because they've sold so well so far, I think it's going to be the case that whilst they're still actively being printed, you might have to wait a month or two, but it seems like these books are going to come back in print, and it seems like Volume 3 is now already on its way back across here. Amazon.com, let's see if they've got it. See, it is in stock. That's the main point, that, you know, I know we're worrying about these kind of things, but if it is that the stock's coming back in, then that's a really good sign. But if you're the person that wants to read BERSERK as it's coming out rather than me, who's just waiting until I've got a stockpile of them, you might want to jump on Volume 3 now that it does look like it's coming back in stock, because even though I'm saying, yeah, it should be coming back in print and stuff like that, and even though I've got no kind of insider knowledge or anything like that, you don't want it to be the case that you're going to have to wait a couple of months if it is a case that these are as addicting as people say they are. And this next one I'm going to mention because it seems to have fallen off people's radar, but like a couple of months ago, this was the book that everybody was struggling to get. This was The Whale. So this is more just like a polite reminder that if you wanted these Power Rangers books, it seems like the first volume isn't really kept in stock anywhere except for Amazon, and everywhere else is pretty much at cover price as well. But if we go back to the year, if you look here, at certain points it was about £200. This was in like February of this year. Now, it's been out for 2 years, and if you notice, between, so that's November 2018 all the way pretty much to this March, it was actually out of print. So if you want these books, they're great. I'm of course going to recommend them as a devoted Power Rangers fan, but these books came back in print and then everybody forgot about them, and I'm not sure if it's the case that everybody who wanted them thought that maybe they can wait a few more months, but trust me, with how rare these went, you don't really want to risk doing that again. And look, just look how beautiful these covers all are together. And obviously we don't know what's going to happen when this 4th volume comes out, but as well, I saw the it was like the free comic book day variant that came out with a 2-pack of year 1 and year 2. I saw that in Worlds Apart Birmingham for £60, which is better than the price that you've got here, which is kind of ridiculous. But yeah, please don't sleep on those ones if the books that you actually wanted. Now, one that I didn't know had gone out of print because I got it in that stupidly good Amazon Germany sale, which was nearly a year ago now. I didn't know that Absolute Batman Arkham Knight had gone out of print, and I'm not really too sure when this happened. So it looks like in August it was still available, admittedly at full price, but then it's just completely disappeared. Now, this is quite a weird book. It's very abstract. It's Grant Morrison when I think, you know, he was really very Grant Morrison-y. So I know it's not for everybody, but this might have been a book that you were waiting on. You know, you might have been waiting to see if that Amazon Germany sale came back up, but this just disappeared all of a sudden. And Absolute Editions are weird because people don't seem to realise that they can actually go out of print as well. And the difficulty is that the new trade paperback looks exactly like the Absolute Edition. Yeah, unfortunately, doesn't seem that's going about anywhere, but I saw this in a few groups recently, and with it being that as of August it was still quite healthily in stock here and there, might be the case that you might be able to drop on this. Admittedly, yeah, this probably should have been in an earlier Whale Watch video, which I apologise for. I am not perfect at this. I'm not perfect at edition comics. I never claimed to be. I'm the maddest. I'm not perfect, so I try my best with this. I'm sorry if that was a book that you wanted and I should have mentioned ages ago. Trust me, Blackwell's is not getting that back in stock as well, by the way. Now, another one that I'm going to mention, and it hasn't necessarily gone out of print, but it is the Infinite Crisis Omnibus. Now, I had this in one of my recent hauls, and it is a very whammy book. Now, a lot of people, especially at the time when it came out in June, that was when the pandemic really hit the EU hard. We just weren't getting shipments of anything. But it did come out across in the UK. There was, you know, limited stock, as you can see. There's only 3 people stocking it. I've never dealt with a great read, but, you know, it's the cheapest price there. Books around the world, I haven't dealt with them either. Amazon's got it in stock for about 19% off, which, you know, is still better than paying over cover price. Seems that your cheapest is going to be here, Amazon.com. So of course you can see that there's a few there, but yeah, it still seems like Amazon's the cheapest here. And this is a book that's in its 3rd printing, and because there hasn't really been that much buzz about this, like most recent release of it, I don't know if it's going to be the case it is going to get another release. So you've had 3 chances now to buy this book, and I'd hate for people to sleep on it. Yeah, it seems like the cheapest it's actually got is Libris, which I think is like a 3rd-party seller website. I'm sure somebody's going to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong anyway. But that's one that if you did want it, we don't know what's happening with the stock. I've been monitoring this one for quite a bit of time. I got it at the price that I was happiest with it for, but if you notice, there hasn't really been too many places that have stocked it recently as new, and now it's pretty much just Amazon that's got it. But yeah, we don't really know if that's getting a 4th print because it seems like we were pushing our luck with the 3rd one. Now, another one that I noticed the stock levels for were getting quite weird was the MACHINA Omnibus. I thought this had been out way longer than 2018, and this is a particularly whammy book, but I've noticed that the price has consistently stayed at about £80, but new sellers were selling it for like those standard prices of, you know, about half price, but then all of a sudden it's just jumped up in price. Everywhere's selling it for about the same value of just over £80, which isn't really that great. You don't really hear too many people talk about this book as well. You hear them talk about Y the Last Man. It seems like, no, unfortunately, oh, okay, so it looks like Amazon.com's run out of it as well. Your cheapest price at the minute is used on eBay. I know a lot of people don't like buying used. It seems like it's in good condition. If you watch this and that's your eBay channel and you sell that book, thank me later. But yeah, it seems like this one's steadily creeping up in price as well, which is normally the worrying sign. Everyone talks about Y the Last Man and everybody's talked about Saga, but Ex Machina, especially with it being a political year, it's weird that it's just being completely forgotten about. If that was a book that you wanted, it might be the case that you might need to jump on it now sooner rather than later. One that somebody raised a question to me about was one that I was surprised would even make it on the list, but like I said, this video is about helping you guys, so of course I'm going to put it on here. But they asked if there's going to be an issue with the Sandman omnibuses. Now obviously there's 3, and the reason why they asked this was because of the fact that there is now Sandman Deluxe editions. This is still healthily in print. Books Etc.'s got it, which probably means it's even cheaper if you go directly onto their website. Yeah, they're cheaper even on the website. They're over half price off. Sandman is one of those books that you never have to worry about getting it in a certain way. It's like worrying that Watchmen's going to go out of print. The only thing you do kind of have to be a little bit cautious of is if the format that you want that book in might actually go out of print. With these omnibuses at the minute, they are still healthily in print. I haven't really seen any issues coming from anywhere. But admittedly, as more of those deluxe editions coming out, and obviously this is going to be months away, like the first one's only just come out and the second one's just been solicited, but it might be the case that, yeah, eventually they might, you know, get rid of these omnibuses because, you know, the deluxe editions might be cheaper to produce, they can sell more units of them for less weight and stuff like that. I don't really know, I don't work for DC. But for me, I don't think you can worry too much about the Sandman omnibuses at the moment. If anything, it seems like Volume 2 is the only one that isn't at a stupidly good price, but it's still at a pretty decent price. But yeah, you can still get it pretty cheap even on Amazon third-party sellers, so that's a book that I don't think you have to worry about too much. Now, one that I noticed a few days ago that I know has been out of print for quite a bit of time, and then it just suddenly appeared. Amazon UK seems to have a few copies, well, 14 to be exact, of the Jeff Johns Teen Titans Omnibus. Now yeah, the binding of this one wasn't too great, but this had been out of print for a little bit of time, and it seems like we've just got a stealth restocking of it, and nobody really seemed to know about it. Because if you look, and I remember checking at this point when it was saying it was about £120, they didn't actually have it in stock, and a lot of people had said this had gone out of print. I think Cheap Comics again had listed it as out of print. Yeah, they've listed it as out of print and they've got it for over cover price. So if this was one of those books that maybe you thought you weren't having a chance of getting, you know, now might be your time. Like, yeah, it isn't the best price that you're ever going to see, but it's still under cover price, and they've got 14 in stock, so if Amazon sends you one that isn't in the best condition, you can still send it back. But yeah, it surprised me that that one came back in stock. Another one that I heard rumours about and people were worrying about was the 0 Hour 25th Anniversary Omnibus. Now, it seems like it's still quite well in stock, you've even got it at Books, etc. But this one, even though I don't think it's an immediate going out of print or anything like that, like maybe I'll eat my own words next month and it'll be completely out of stock everywhere and nobody can find it. But for me, I think this has still got about a month or so left in it that you can be safe with it for, because of just how many other places have got it. But what I will say is I'm not too sure how well this will do at being evergreen. If you told me that DC can do another printing of the Death and Return of Superman, or they can do another printing of 0 Hour Omnibus, they're gonna do Death and Return of Superman, but they haven't. That logic doesn't make 100% sense, I get that, but for me, I'm just saying that I don't really think this is gonna be something that they're gonna want to keep evergreen, because you don't really hear anybody even talking about 0 Hour. I've got the Omnibus, but I got it in that Amazon Germany sale, so I can't really complain too much. But for me, I do feel like this is a book that should be on your radar if you want it, but it might still be the case that you can get like an extra month or so if there's another more urgent book that you need. Now, it seems like we bounced between two specific Grant Morrison omnibuses, and last month it was The Invisibles, and this month it's Doom Patrol again. And I know I've mentioned Doom Patrol a few times already in this series, but the stock of this is just fluctuating so mad that I think it's worth being aware of. As you can see, the only places that have got this are Amazon, Book Depository, and a company that I can't even recommend. But look, the price just keeps fluctuating. So in October, you had people selling it for pretty much half price and it shot back up. You know, earlier this month, you had people selling it for about half price and it shot back up. I don't have a clue what's going on with this book. It says apparently that it's about half price at Amazon.com, but no, it's out of stock, so what are you playing at, keep it? I remember mentioning this in an earlier video and I said that it's been out consistently for about 6 years. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign, but if Doom Patrol's a book that you want, even if it's got the chance of coming back in stock, which, you know, I think eventually it would do, it's Grant Morrison, it's a name that always sells. But if this is a book that you actually wanted, it's always better to just get it for undercover price, or just keep your eyes peeled and see if somewhere like Speedy Hen all of a sudden has it in stock, and you know, you might be able to jump on it. Whilst I mentioned it, let's see if I'm wrong about the Invisibles omnibus that I mentioned last month. Yeah, so it seems like a few places got this back in stock as well. Book Depository, Speedy Hen. Don't look like Books Etc.'s got it just yet. So you never know, it might be the case, because this has been out even longer than Doom Patrol, might be the case that, you know, they're just not doing great at getting these batches across. All I'm saying is, if this is a book that you want for cheap, the Doom Patrol book, I mean, if that's a book that you want for cheap, I'd recommend just keeping your eye on it in case the price drops again, in case maybe it is the fact that, you know, we haven't got too much longer left with this omnibus, you know, being actively available. That's all I'm saying on the matter, and obviously you spend your money how you want to. That sounded really passive aggressive. The next one that I'm surprised has gone the way it has is the Hellblazer omnibus. Now, this came out at the beginning of this year in April, so literally the start of the pandemic. Pretty much none came across to here. Like, I don't think too many. That was probably Books Etc. They had it for about a week or so, but I can't believe that this has gone the way that it has. Now, there's been phases where Jesus Christ, it was £52 at one point. There's been phases where this book has been in stock here and there, but it hasn't really been actively available. And especially for something so niche like Hellblazer, I know Garth Ennis is a big name, but I'm surprised it's gone as quickly as it has. But this might be a book that you might be able to find in a comic shop, especially with the fact that Hellblazer is kind of a niche title. I'm hoping they've made it out of print so that they can actually do Hellblazer properly from the beginning. But yeah, there's one for cover on eBay. A Place in Space, I've used them before, they are pretty decent. That's literally your best bet at the minute, it seems. Now this next one was actually the first book that I ever reviewed on this channel, and it's the Batman by Jeff Loeb Omnibus. Now I've heard a few people rumbling saying this is going out of print, and then that was the first time that I actually looked, because I can't believe they're gonna let this go out of print. It's such a big seller all the time. But if you look, Amazon is the only place in the UK that's selling it. Amazon Spain says that they've got it for about 38% off, so that might be the best place for you to get it. Let's have a see if something like Read Books has got Batman by Jeff Loeb Omnibus. But yeah, for me, I think this one wouldn't stay out of print forever. I'd recommend getting it though, rather than watch it go out of print and just hope it comes back in stock. But for me, that's been such a big seller. Like, everybody's wanted that book. Doesn't look like Read Comics has got it either. Let's see if Cheap Comics are listing it as out of print. But it did really surprise me if this one has actually gone out of print. Yeah, they're listing the Jeff Loeb Omnibus as out of print, but there are still a few last minute places that have got it. Amazon Spain seems to be your best bet at the moment. If you need a affiliate link for that, just let me know. But yeah, there's some massive stories in here, the main one of which being Batman The Long Halloween. So I really like having this in an omnibus. Obviously those absolutes went out of print as well, so it might be best to just jump on this if it is a book that you want, even though I think that eventually at some point in the future it should get another reprint. But then again, it's DC we're talking about, so can't take anything for granted. I did just mention it and we're just going to go back to it now because I've seen a few people ask me about this. It's Batman by Paul Dini Omnibus. I want this book myself, so I'm keeping an eye on this. I'm tracking it at the moment, but it hasn't really ever dropped to a decent price just yet. For me, I think that they're just struggling to get this stock across. Now, I know we just talked about a Batman omnibus that looks like it's gone out of print, but for me, I think they do want to give adequate time for people to snap up these Batman omnibuses. So DC doesn't really seem to work much in the same way as Marvel. And you know, there's some bad things about them that they do that Marvel don't, and there's some good things that they do that Marvel don't. And one thing that I do think they do is they seem to give people at least a decent amount of time to get a book if they want it. Sure, there is the odd exception or two, and I'm not just completely disregarding that, but I don't think a book that's Batman by Paul Dini, you know, a big name, especially in Batman himself, in an omnibus, I don't think it's going to be the case that it's just one of them that's just had one printing and we're never going to see it again. So I'm being quite calm with this one. I'm not going to worry too much about it. Hopefully it does come in stock in the future, and like I said, I'm tracking it. But it doesn't seem like it's ever really had a proper chance yet to even come in stock and, you know, stay in stock. Amazon.com has it, but it's only got 10% off, which isn't too great. And I think with how early it is into the life of this book, I'm not going to rush. I'm not going to do what I normally do and panic buy it, and then it'll come out and then it'll be 50% off of books, etc. the day after I buy it. Another one that's in the same vein, again the book that I'm looking for, is the Legion Omnibus. It's this one right here, the 5 years later. Some places are saying they've got it, but it seems like it's Amazon US and a few, you know, smaller sellers. But this is another one that I'm tracking, and it hasn't really had chance again to get across here. It's only been about just over a month that it's even been out, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. And I believe at one point Amazon had this in a 3 for 2 sale. I just couldn't find 2 other books that I wanted. But again, I think with DC, if they've got no faith in a book, they tend to solicit it and cancel it. It'd be very unusual for them to solicit a book, actually get through to the stage where they print it, and then just not really make any attempt to keep it in print for a little bit of time. So that and the Batman by Paul Dini books, I'm not going to worry too much about, and hopefully you won't too. If I do see a great deal on it though, I will put it on my Instagram, so make sure you're just looking out for that. The next one we're going to mention is one that I heard rumblings about on one of the Facebook groups I'm in, and this is the Animal Man by Jeff Lemire Omnibus. So it's pretty much been out for about a year now, and let's see if there's any third parties selling it that I recognise. So Book Depository, Speedy Hen, Wordery, Books etc. still go, but it seems like it's a bit steeper than what it'd usually be. But this is one that I have heard rumblings about, and for me, the thing that kind of, you know, gets me back up a little bit is the fact that they let the Animal Man by Grant Morrison omnibus go out of print. Now the Grant Morrison run is more acclaimed and more well known than the Jeff Lemire run, and that's not a knock at Jeff Lemire, I've got this omnibus already, but the fact of the matter is that if they're allowing the Grant Morrison omnibus to go out of print and then they're resoliciting it as 2 deluxe editions, it's likely to be the case that they do the same for the Jeff Lemire Omnibus as well. It's still at quite a healthy price, especially on some of those third parties. So if it was the case that you wanted this, it might just be worth getting it because it's a book that you wanted anyway and it's at a decent price. Not everything needs to be on its way out of print before you actually bite the bullet and buy it. Because that was something that I was going to say when we talk about the Power Rangers books, but I kind of completely forgot. People only really seem to care about a book when they suddenly can't have it. Whale Watch is about doing the exact opposite. It's about buying books when they're still readily in print when you can get them for a decent price. So even though I can't confirm for definite if this is going out of print or not, the fact of the matter is it has every chance of going out of print. But at the moment you don't have to worry about that. So why would you put yourself through the waiting process of waiting for this book and then it goes out of print anyway when you could have just got it now when you wanted it for a price that you were happier with? We've all done it where we've waited a little bit too long and then all of a sudden we had to pay more than we wanted to for a book that we really wanted at the point when we saw it when it was cheaper. That's just my opinion on the matter, and I know not everybody's going to agree with me, but it's just one of them things. But that's just the way I tend to live, and I always say that if somebody isn't spending the money for you, they shouldn't be telling you how you should spend yours. This is just pretty much like a guidance thing if you wanted them. Now, we are going into some of the Marvel books, and you know what we do at the beginning of the Marvel section? We do our Chi Check, which is a section of the show where we check on our boy Shang-Chi. Now, these Shang-Chi omnibuses, and I've said this for about the last 4 months now, are only apparently getting one print. So once these are gone, they are gone. Yeah, no one's got volume 1, so this is like the one that's like crisis level if you were looking to buy these. Let's see if any have just randomly cropped up. Someone's got one on eBay for $84.99, might be Reed. Yeah, Reed Comics has got 3 available, so rather than spending the £125 you'd have to get from the risky seller, get it from Reed Comics. I really like them. Weirdly, volume 4's the one that they haven't got. They say they're getting it back in stock, but if I'm being honest, I do doubt that, because it seems like the other volumes you can still get at Amazon. So you've got volume 4, I think that's Books Etc. Yeah, Books Etc.'s got it for a pretty decent price. Looks like they've got volume 3 and volume 2 as well, and same for volume 3. So at the minute you can still get all 4 of the Shang-Chi omnibuses for undercover if you go through Reed Comics for volume 1. Same as before, it does look as if volume 1's the one that's gone out of stock here. This is obviously Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, which is the sister series. It's been out for about 4 years, so we can't say we haven't had chances. Reed Comics got volume 1? Yeah, good old Reed, but it's the last one that they've got. So if you want all these Shang-Chi omnibuses, now is the best time to get them, because like we said, that film's coming out and then all of a sudden Shang-Chi is going to be this big commodity in the same way that everybody all of a sudden knew who Black Panther was and everybody suddenly knew who Captain Marvel was. And you might not be able to get these omnibuses, so I'd rather you just buy them whilst they're in stock and in print if it is that you want them, rather than having to chase those both out of print prices and also, you know, with film accolade prices. But obviously we go through this once a month, so we'll see next month just where we're at with those stock levels and see if Reed Comics manages to sell that last one. One that whilst I was doing my searches for you guys, because obviously it doesn't look like it, but a lot of work does tend to go into these Whale Watch videos. Like, I have to research throughout the month. But one that's a bit sad to see that it's going out of print again is one that I mentioned, I think, in the very first episode of Whale Watch, and that's the Daredevil by Frank Miller omnibus. For the longest amount of time, this was the biggest whale. Like, you couldn't get this or Punisher by Garth Ennis. So if it was the case that you remember what it was like then, and for some reason you still haven't bought this book, now might very well be your last chance. See, only a couple of days ago, Amazon was selling it for about £71. There's a few third-party sellers. Now no one's selling it except for Amazon. Let's have a look on the international market. Amazon Spain seems like they've got it for about 38% off. That's pretty decent. Let's see if Cheap Comics is listing this as out of print or not. Obviously, they don't always get this right, so take this with a pinch of salt like we mentioned last month. But then again, there's still no smoke without fire. Yeah, it's saying that it's out of print, but it's actually on sale for quite a decent price. But yeah, look, there's not many places that are selling it for pretty cheap. It seems like you're probably going to have to be paying cover if you don't go through Cheap Comics. Actually, you know what? I know it's going to make this video seem a bit incoherent, but it kind of just proves the point that I was saying just a few books ago about, you know, people not caring about books until it goes out of print. Because do you remember when these first came back in stock, the Daredevil by Bendis volumes 1 and 2? Everybody was clamoring for it, nobody could find them for anywhere, and people were spending over cover for a reprint. Now, give it a few months, they are back in print, you've got your chance to get them. And another one that I'm going to mention in line with this is the Uncanny X-Force, which, if you remember, nobody could get their hands on this, and now it's readily in stock pretty much everywhere. Sure, that's not me saying that it's never going to go out of print, but it's just me saying that if a book's just come out, there's no point stressing about it. But at the same time, just because a book's not highly demanded and highly sought after, or maybe forgotten about when it was once really needed, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be picking it up now if you wanted it. Everybody just kind of wants either the new thing or other hard to get thing. And that's what Whale Watch is all about trying to avoid. It's about getting you the books that you wanted that maybe you forgot about. But yeah, back to the original point. It seems like the Daredevil by Frank Miller omnibus seems like it's on its way out. And obviously there's the companion. I can't imagine that if the normal omnibus goes out of print that they're going to try to keep the companion in stock. But obviously the companion is probably going to go out of print a little bit after the normal one because most people tend to not buy the companion. This, to me, probably has the better work in it, if I'm being honest with you. Now another one. It seems like we can't do any of these videos without mentioning some kind of Spider-Man omnibus. The one that we're mentioning today is going to be the John Byrne omnibus, although we have another one later on in the video that I've just remembered. This has shot back up in price, and there isn't too many places that are selling it on Amazon. I don't want this book, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, but this video series isn't about me. So this book kind of immediately preceded what the JMS omnibuses were. So it might be the case that you're a completionist and maybe this is a book that you actually needed and you thought you had a little bit longer with. But if you look, everywhere seems to be going back up in price. Let's have a see if Cheap Comics thinks that it's gone out of print already. I'm stuttering a bit here. I'm sorry guys, it's been such a long day already. It's been quite a tough week as well, so I'm sorry if I'm not 100% on point or like I was when I had that pre-workout that time. That was kind of mad. Yeah, it's at full price on Cheap Comics, so if this is a book for whatever reason you were one of the people who wanted it, now might be the time to get it while you still can. Now the next book, I'm going to skip ahead because I was going to mention it anyway, is this one, Spider-Man by David Michelinie. Now I mentioned this a few videos earlier when it looked like it was going out of stock and then it kind of did, but it seems again that it's just on its way out now. I saw it on Amazon, and if you look, the only place that's selling this new on Amazon is Amazon. Your cheapest Amazon is going to be Amazon Canada, but I don't know what the postage is like, and that's only 19% off. Let's see if I can find it for you anywhere else. Cheapest on eBay is about £80, and I'm not even sure if that's new. Yeah, it's Read Comics, so of course it's going to be new, but that seems to be another book that it's last chance saloon for it. If for whatever reason you really wanted this, it seemed like it had a bit of a stealth restock here and there, but again it seems like it's on its way out already. One book that I saw come back in stock here and there was the Namor omnibus. Now this was out of print and I had it confirmed to me by a few people after one of my earlier videos, but Holborn Books and Gifts, I got my Thor by Dan Jurgens omnibus volume 2 from there. They've got it for about £70, so it's still under cover price, and Amazon seemed to get some stock of it as well. Amazon Germany says they've got it for £83, £83, sorry. But yeah, they've got 17 left in storage, which is an ominous way of phrasing it. But a few months ago, I had it on the thumbnail of one of the videos. This was a book that was on its way out and people said that they can't find it for cover anymore. But there's one used for about £54. Yeah, Read Comics have got Namor as well, but they're on the last one. Namor is one of those characters. I'm not too sure if they're going to do a reprint of this because they haven't even done a reprint of the Fantastic Four Volume 2 by John Byrne, despite the fact that they did Volume 1. So you do kind of have to put it into perspective, and I know Marvel at the minute is dropping random reprints here and there, books that you didn't really think were going to get a chance, but you have to be realistic with some of the John Byrne books that have come out before and the likelihood of them going, yeah, Namor's the one that deserves a second chance. So if you want this book, you can just get it for about cover or just undercover if you go to Read Comics. I'd recommend doing this if this is a book that you wanted. Coming into the final couple of books here, and this is one that I know is going to upset a lot of people because of the fact that they just kind of gave up reprinting this line. It's Tomb of Dracula omnibus. Now, they only really did a reprint of Volume 1, even though there's 3 volumes in total, but the only place that's got it for a decent price is actually Amazon itself. Who knows what Marvel are going to do? Maybe it is the case that eventually they might print Volumes 2 and 3. We just don't know, but the fact of the matter is that Volume 1 seems like it's on its way out again. And no, I'm not just mentioning this because I'm filming it around Halloween. It's just the fact that I don't want people to miss out on this book if they want to. Yeah, it's saying that the Volume 1 reprint's out of print as well. So if that was a book that you wanted, maybe it's best just buying it at cover rather than missing out on it completely. One that kind of worried me, and I want to raise the point here, is the Wolverine Omnibus reprint. Now, if you look on Amazon UK, and if you can see there's one person selling it as a collectible for £300 near enough, which is just ridiculous. Now, this book has only recently just come back in print. Amazon Spain's got it for about 36% off, but they're temporarily out of stock. This reprint only just come back in, so rather than paying 300 quid, rather than rushing and paying some stupid amount, why not just wait a little bit and see if more stock's coming? I can't remember if Omar or anyone said that there's going to be even more stock of this coming out, but the fact that it sold as well as it did, to me says that eventually it might happen. But you can actually get it from Read Comics for £70 there, so that's pretty decent in comparison to those other values that you would almost pay. Let's see if anybody else has got it. That's probably going to be Read Comics as well. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about this one. it looks like it's already been listed as out of print in a lot of places anyway, so you haven't got anything to lose to actually wait. Would you rather wait and it still just be £300, or pay £300 and then wait and then, you know, some more stock comes across? Well, it's kind of worrying time, so I understand why people are getting a bit stressed out. Now, I'm not too sure if anybody saw this, but the She-Hulk Omnibus, another one that we've mentioned for like the last 4 episodes, the pre-order price on it dropped in quite a few places. Now, 32% off on Amazon UK, but I believe it was Amazon Spain and Amazon.com actually. Amazon.com are selling this at a pre-order price with 60% off, and it's coming out in a couple of weeks. That is insane to me. Like, I can't believe how cheap this book has gone. So I've got my pre-order with Amazon UK, but I've also got a pre-order, I believe it was with Amazon Germany that I pre-ordered it with. Yeah, I pre-ordered it with Amazon Spain, just in the off chance that they do actually get a lot of these copies and they can ship it across. But Amazon US has got it for a decent price as well. This is on a pre-order. So you see, we are changing the game now on Whale Watch. We're doing things a little bit differently. I'm talking about pre-orders now. But that is just a really good price. And yeah, it says it's #1 in new releases. Who knows if they're going to actually get the stock to cover that. But look, it's near enough the same price as the complete collection for the first volume, and that comes in 2 volumes. Well, Mia, have they got War of Realms? Yeah, they've got it in stock, but it seems like not a lot of places are actually keeping good stock of that. Addressing more rumours, we've got the Astonishing X-Men Omnibus. Now, this got a reprint as well, but it seems like there's not too many places that have actually got this, you know, physically with them. Amazon's got it for about 29% off, but it seems like nobody really cared too much about this reprint when it's probably my favourite series. Well, it's probably my favourite X-Men run, and I know now it's not cool anymore to like Joss Whedon because he did Justice League, but I can't really knock this series at all. I really enjoy it. But it doesn't seem like too many places have actually got it physically to hand. Let's have a see if we go on here. The cheapest new is still Amazon on there. So this is a book that, because it doesn't seem to have got the buzz that I feel like it deserves and Marvel was probably expecting, like the Wolverine Omnibus tend to have more buzz than the Astonishing X-Men Omnibus, which was kind of crazy to me. So if it was the case that you really wanted this book, I don't know, I think you should just get it because I really like it. I'm kind of biased when it comes to this one. But the last book that we're going to talk about is one that surprised me was even getting a reprint, and that is the Omnibus. Now, Volume 1 is getting a reprint. It was confirmed by the Uncanny Omar. He confirmed as well that the Annihilation Conquest is getting a reprint. I'm not too sure why. Literally a few days ago this was still in print. Obviously it's the case that it's because of that Volume 3 is coming out, but the reason why I'm bringing this up isn't for the Omnibus Volume 1 or the Omnibus Volume 3. So this one right here, Omnibus Volume 2. Now, it hasn't been confirmed if this one's going to get a reprint, but it's in stock at the moment. And again, you don't want it to be the case that Volume 3 comes out and you can get that one, then Volume 1 comes out, and it might be the case that they don't reprint Volume 2. We just don't really know what's going to happen. You might just want to buy this, especially with the fact that it's near enough half price. It's probably going to be Books Etc. Yeah, Books Etc.'s got it, so it's probably going to be cheaper on the website. So that's one of those books that, if you want the Omnibuses, even though for me it's a bit of a mismatch of stories that I don't really care about, but if you want them, you don't want it to be the case that you wait for this reprint of Volume 1, you buy Volume 3, and then Volume 2 is the one that goes out of print, because trust me, it's shit when that happens. But I spoke about what I can do to hopefully make Whale Watch a bit more of a comprehensive show. Obviously, some of you have suggested that I do Masterworks or maybe Epic Collections, or, you know, some of the Batman volumes that are coming out here and there. And that's something that I'm gonna like actively try to do. It's just I need to get into the rhythm of doing them. One thing that I thought I could do, which might be funny, is doing a show called The Omar Effect. So obviously we all love the Uncanny Omar at Near Mint Condition, and he always gets like the first news on reprints that are coming out. And then you'll notice that something happens that people then start to try and sell their old volumes. So recently it was the Annihilation Conquest Omnibus that got announced for reprint. Seems like the Amazon sellers haven't really listened, because you can still get it for about, wow, what a deal, £1,200 brand new, Ain't that something? The cheapest is Amazon.com at £216, even though a reprint of this is coming out. But let's have a look on eBay. So in August, one went for £190, which is astounding. Then I think it was in the last month they got announced that this is coming back out. So just before that, it was going for about 140 quid. Then, Luke, of course, you know, somebody's best offer had to get accepted. You've got a £91 one here. Somebody clearly didn't hear that the reprint was happening there. Let's do the same for the Omnibus. Let's have a see at the Omar Effect. So yeah, in the last month, someone sold theirs for £80. But just before that, it went for £125, which is ridiculous because, like I said, it was on Amazon. Why don't people search? But yeah, these didn't really go for too great of a price there. Another one that I'm going to look at is the Captain America by Ed Brubaker Omnibus. Because this got announced for a reprint quite a bit of time ago, but yeah, look, people are just offloading. Someone sold one for £45 within the last couple of weeks. Someone's selling the complete set, but look just how much this price has gone down. That is the Omar effect at work. That's what I'm going to coin it. £69. Look, you can just see it gets flooded. As soon as a reprint gets confirmed, the website just gets flooded with people trying to offload their copies. Jesus, that's quite staggering. But yeah, other things I might do as well, some ideas that I had floated around, was kind of like having an omnibus watch. So an omnibus that we know has gone out of print, so say maybe for example Mutant Massacre or something like that, I kind of track the price, I see if there's been any dips or anything like that, and see if I can try and find any trends. Obviously I'd only do like a couple of omnibuses a month if that's something that I'm going to do. But like I said, obviously as the months go on, it's likely that there might be a few episodes of Whale Watch here and there where there's significantly less books than what I was saying before. It's because of the fact that hopefully I've covered everything, and hopefully, you know, places start to get more stock of things. Whale Watch has always been a very personal endeavour for me because I like making sure that you guys can save as much money as possible. I've said this before, but some people absolutely hate the format of this show. I've had people say that I'm the cause of people's fear of missing out and for scalpers getting increased prices. And if that's genuinely what you believe, I'm not even going to try and change your mind, because the entire time that I've been doing this series, I've always been saying to not buy over cover price. I've always been trying to find you the best deal and point out when reprints are coming out, because all I want to do is make sure that you guys can build the best collection as possible and make sure that you're in a good financial place, because there's nothing worse than not having enough money to get by month to month. Sure, we love having these books, sure it's great, but the first thing that I'm always going to preach, even when I'm doing hauls that, you know, I've probably spent a lot of money on, I'm always going to say put your bills first, put your family first, put your life first. I'm always going to stress that they're the priorities. Your books aren't. They aren't a necessity. You don't need them to keep living. It's just nice when you do have quite a lot on your shelves. And hopefully with the help of a series like this, that's going to continue. So like I said, I'm always listening to new ideas if there's stuff you want to see get incorporated into Whale Watch. Obviously it's not likely that I can do everything, or else it might end up being like a 2-hour show. And trust me, these videos take a shit ton of time to edit and film. And obviously there's all the work that I do throughout the month, so I'm just hoping that it all pays off and that some of you still find this series useful. If there are books that you're concerned about, or maybe you think's gone into a whale status, message me on Instagram and I'll include it in the next video so that we can help everyone out. But comment below with what are some of the books that are on your radar for this November, or maybe some whales that you hope get reprinted next. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you didn't like this video, why did you get this far? Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. There was such a massive wave of love that came as a result of that haul that I just did, so hopefully I can keep that momentum going, and I'm still trying to figure out what the hell I should do if I reach 1,000 subscribers. Some of you have asked that I do another live stream, which can definitely be on the cards. I know obviously I don't get too much time to do live streams, which I apologise for. It's more I have to chance the 10 minutes here and there to film and edit and stuff like that at the moment. But I also want to do something that's different and something that's special to celebrate 1,000. Obviously for 500 we did a live stream, so maybe there's something different I can do. Maybe there's something I can bring to the live stream that will be a little bit different as well. But any suggestions or any ideas or anything that you just want to see in general, just let me know in the comments section and I'll see what I can do. But if you'd like to support the channel, it is greatly appreciated. Maybe there's a book off here that you want to buy. I'm not going to ask for a Patreon or donation or anything like that, although I'm not going to lie, if somebody wants to give me £1 million, I'm not going to say no. But all I will ask is that you treat yourself to a book and use the Amazon affiliate link down below. I can't see any of your details, it doesn't increase the price, it just means that eventually I'm going to be able to buy a new camera. But follow me on my links, I'm always making sure that I put as much comic content on there as I can. But until the next video, just make sure that you stay safe, keep reading, and keep barking all you mad dogs, and I'll see you at the next video.